All right, everyone, get ready for today's deep dive. We're heading to Kenya to learn about Enkanasa cow milk. This one piqued my interest thanks to, well, an article by Bernard Njathi.
Njathi.
Yeah, the CEO of Imfuyo, the egg tech and finance company.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know them. It is interesting he'd be writing about a dairy company, though.
Right, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, his company is all about data and tech and revolutionizing how agriculture works. So when he gets excited about a dairy company, you got to wonder what's going on here.
You're right. That is pretty curious. Like, what's so special they caught his eye?
Exactly. So today, that's our mission. What makes Enkanasa stand out, and why someone like Njathi, of all people, is impressed by them.
Well, okay, one thing that jumps out at me is that Enkanasa, it's not just producing milk. They're really part of Narok County,
Yeah.
committed to empowering the community there.
So, like, more than just some corporate social responsibility thing.
Way more. This isn't superficial. They're doing training programs specifically for the dairy industry. They're helping women get access to microloans so they can upgrade their equipment, and even trying to close that digital divide, increasing access to mobile banking for farmers.
Wow. That's way more involved than I expected.
Yeah, it's about creating lasting impact, not just some short-term feel-good project. This is the real deal.
And this is where I think Njathi sees how Enkanasa and his own company, Imfuyo, line up.
Totally. Both companies, their vision is about making lasting change in agriculture. And the way they're doing it is combining technology with community development. They both really focus on sustainable income and creating a system where communities directly benefit from new technology. Actually, Njathi mentions Enkanasa even promotes financial literacy and inclusion. Our listeners probably find that pretty interesting.
For sure. Yeah. And of course, there's the jobs. They're creating opportunities, but not just any jobs, specifically for young Kenyans. And giving them real skills through these mentorship programs and industry-specific training they do.
Yeah, it's about building the workforce, right?
Yeah.
A knowledgeable one. For the future of the Kenyan dairy industry, Njathi actually, he praises that emphasis on training and education. And it really lines up with what Imfuyo is about, too, fostering growth and knowledge, all within agriculture.
Absolutely. And we can't forget the fact that they're helping women in an industry that, let's be honest, it's been dominated by men. Enkanasa is going above and beyond to give women resources, training, and advocating for a much more inclusive approach to economic empowerment in the dairy industry.
Yeah, no, it's a crucial point. They're making sure there's gender equality, both in their workforce and the communities they're a part of. Really remarkable, and I think our listeners who like to learn about diverse perspectives would find that interesting, how businesses can help social progress.
For sure. Okay, so they're really invested in their community. But what about the product? I mean, is the milk any good?
Well, now this is where it gets interesting. Enkanasa uses ultra-high temperature processing, that's UHT. And the milk they make has a 180-day shelf life.
Wait, 180? That's like 6 months?
Yep. And here's the thing, they don't use preservatives to get that shelf life. It's all natural processing. Knowing our listeners, that's got to be a big plus.
Oh, for sure. Like, I love having milk that lasts, but not if it means sacrificing quality or messing with my health.
Right. So can they actually deliver both? It seems like it. Njathi describes the milk as having a rich, creamy texture, even after months. He even tells a story about trying it himself, being so impressed by the natural flavor.
No way.
Yeah, he literally says it's pure, natural, and delicious.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Anyone can claim long shelf life, but if the quality's there and the taste, that's walking the walk.
Exactly. It shows they care genuinely about making a great product. And get this, their innovation isn't limited to just the milk. They're researching and using all these techniques to improve how they produce it. Less environmental impact, all that.
It's not just the product. They're thinking about, like, the entire process, right? From farm to table.
Precisely. Making dairy farming more sustainable, eco-friendly, something our listeners probably care about.
It's refreshing. You hear companies talking about sustainability, but with Enkanasa, it feels like real. Part of them.
I agree. It's not just marketing. It's who they are. And that commitment to sustainability, well, it leads back to their mission, to make the whole Kenyan dairy industry better.
So it's bigger than them. They're trying to help the whole sector.
Yeah. And that's got to be a big part of why Njathi is so impressed. They share that vision, Support local farmers, make sure they have what they need to succeed, and always make a truly great product. That's what Enkanasa is about.
It's more than just making money. It's about having a positive impact.
Exactly. And to emphasize that, Njathi even includes a call to action. He wants people to support Enkanasa. He believes in them. That much is clear. He wants them to succeed.
That's really something. Okay, so we've covered a lot. Community focus, empowering women and youth, innovative ways of producing their milk, and the dedication to quality and sustainability. But what's all this mean for our listeners?
It's a great example, I think. A business that's successful but also prioritizes their community, sustainability, quality. They're proving you can do it all. Financial success, A&D, positive impact on your community and the environment.
It's like they're going against, like, business as usual.
Right.
Showing us that doing things differently, a more, I don't know, holistic way can work.
Absolutely. It's not just selling milk, it's investing in the future of their community, Kenya, even the planet. I think we can all get behind that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so here's the big question. Could this work in other industries, this whole model?
The million-dollar question. Imagine healthcare, education, technology, even fashion, all doing things the Enkanasa way. The possibilities.
Whoa, yeah.
Right. So think about it, and that's what I want you to take away. Which industries could benefit? How could Enkanasa's way of doing things create change in different sectors?
That's a great thought. It's not enough to just admire them. We got to figure out how to use those lessons and make things better.
Because at the end of the day, their story is a story of hope. It's showing us a better future is possible, where businesses are a force for good.
And that's a future I think we can all get excited about. It
Yeah.
really is inspiring. I mean, it'd be so easy to just, I don't know, see them as another dairy company. But they're obviously doing so much more.
It's how they've made, like, their social mission such a core part of their business. It's not an afterthought. It drives everything they do.
And it's not just about being altruistic either, right?
Right.
They've actually found a business model where doing good, like, actually helps their business.
Exactly. That's worth paying attention to. When they invest in the community, empower those farmers, they're also making their supply chain more stable, more prosperous. And ultimately, that helps them too.
So it's this, like, positive feedback loop, right? Social impact and economic success, they kind of feed each other.
Exactly. It's not just about the money. It's about a system that works for everyone. Resilient, fair, the whole thing.
Something that really stood out from Njathi's article was how much he focused on technology, how Enkanasa uses it to help the farmers improve what they do.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely impressed by that. He mentions the mobile payment systems, which, I mean, not only do they make things easier, but they also give farmers more transparency, more control over their finances.
That's got to be huge, especially in more rural places where getting to a bank, it's not so easy.
Exactly. It's bridging the gap, right? Making sure everyone has those tools. And it's not just about the money either. Enkanasa is using technology for giving farmers market data, real-time stuff, weather forecasts, even veterinary advice.
So much information right there in their hands.
Exactly. Which can, I mean, completely change how they make decisions, how productive they are. Njathi even talks about them using data analytics to optimize milk production. Less waste, more efficiency, the whole thing.
Wow. It's really impressive how they've brought tech into, like, every part of their business, from helping the farmers to making things more efficient and sustainable.
It shows how committed they are to innovating and that they get how tech can be a force for good, always experimenting, pushing boundaries. I think that's something we can all learn from.
You know, another thing that got me was how focused they are on quality. Like, they're not just churning out milk, they actually care about how it tastes.
Yeah, and let's not forget, that 180-day shelf life, it's all natural, no preservatives. That's incredible from a food science perspective.
It's almost hard to believe, right? You think something that lasts that long has to be full of artificial stuff?
That's what you'd expect, but Enkanasa proves you can have both. The long shelf life and the purity. And it works. Njathi says the milk is rich, creamy, and delicious.
It sounds amazing, seriously. I kind of want a glass right now. Have you actually tried it?
I haven't, not yet. But it's definitely on my list now. I mean, a product that combines social impact, sustainability, innovation, and taste. That's not something you see every day.
They've cracked the code, haven't they?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why more companies aren't doing the same thing.
Right. It's a big shift in how you think about things, I guess. Moving away from just chasing profit and instead, like, taking this holistic view. The community, the environment, the customer, all of it matters.
It's like realizing that doing good, it's not optional. It's essential. And investing in social impact, it can be good for business too.
Exactly. Enkanasa shows us that. It's not just a feel-good story. It's a successful business that's making a real difference.
We've talked a lot about the good stuff, the positive things Enkanasa is doing. And they deserve the praise, for sure. But to be fair, are there any challenges, any downsides to their approach?
That's a good point. Nothing's perfect. And there are always challenges. One thing that comes to mind is scalability. Enkanasa, they're really rooted in their community. Can they keep that same level of community engagement and impact if they grow really big? That might be tough.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And there's competition, too. It's a tough market, the dairy industry. Can they stay committed to their values? The social impact, the sustainability. A&D stay ahead of the game, especially against bigger companies that might not have such strong ethics.
Important questions, for sure. It's a balancing act. Will be interesting to see how they handle it as they grow.
It's a good reminder that success, it's not a finish line. It's a journey. There are always going to be obstacles.
For sure. But what matters is sticking to your values. Keep prioritizing that social mission, even as you change and adapt.
And that's something we can affect, as consumers. We can support businesses that reflect our values and hold them accountable.
That's right. Our choices matter. Every time we buy something, we're supporting a certain way of doing things. And by supporting companies like Enkanasa, we're saying we value businesses that care about people and the planet, not just profit.
So as we kind of wrap up this part of our deep dive into Enkanasa, let's come back to that question. Can their model work in other industries?
I think it can, definitely. The specifics, they might be different, but the core idea, empowering your community, sustainability, innovation, that can work in a lot of different places.
Totally. Think about it. Healthcare providers that focus on preventing problems, reaching out to the community. Schools that empower students to make real change. Even fashion brands that care about where their materials come from, how they make their clothes. The possibilities are endless.
It's amazing. And I think that's what's so inspiring about Enkanasa. It's more than just selling milk. It's a model, a way to do business better.
It shows us we don't have to accept things the way they are. We can demand more from the businesses we support and choose to put our money with companies that are actually trying to make a positive impact.
It's a powerful message. Enkanasa shows us that businesses can be a force for good.
And that's definitely a future worth being a part of. So we've really dug into Enkanasa, learned a lot. But what's the takeaway here? What's the lasting message we can all get from their story?
They're proof that businesses can actually be a force for good. Like really, truly good. It's not just about profits. It's about the whole picture. The community, sustainability, making great products. Enkanasa shows us it's possible.
Yeah, it's more than just selling milk. It's about building something better for the community, for the whole Kenyan dairy industry even.
And we should be celebrating that, absolutely. But it's also like a challenge to us. They've raised the bar, right? And it's up to us, everyone, consumers, investors, even those starting their own businesses. We got to demand more from the companies we interact with.
You mean like not just looking at the product itself, but who's making it, what they stand for, how they do things?
Exactly. We can choose, support the businesses that actually share our values, whether that's fair treatment of workers, protecting the environment, or giving back to the community.
And those choices, they can actually shift the market, right?
Yeah.
Help create a future where businesses are more responsible, more ethical.
Yeah. Our everyday decisions, they have power. Every time you buy something, you're supporting a certain way of doing things. And when we support companies like Enkanasa, we're saying, hey, we want businesses that care about people and the planet, not just making money.
It's not just about feeling good about supporting a good company. It's about pushing for a bigger change towards a better way of doing business overall.
That's it. It's about that bigger picture. Enkanasa's story, it's not just an isolated thing. It's like, it sparks a conversation, makes people think, hey, maybe we can do better too.
It's like they've given us this glimpse of what if? What if businesses actually put people and the planet first alongside their profits?
And that's a vision worth working towards, don't you think?
Absolutely. So to wrap things up, let's leave our listeners with a bit of a challenge. Think about the businesses you support. Do their values match yours? Are they making a positive impact?
And if not, well, what can you do? Could you find alternatives? Ask those companies about how they do things? Maybe support organizations that are fighting for more ethical, more sustainable businesses?
Even small changes, they can add up.
For sure. When enough people make those choices, it can really make a difference. It creates a movement.
So let's all learn from Enkanasa and try to build a world where doing business, it means doing good. Making things better.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
And until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing for that better future.